Hey, 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 all my Lock Kings and Queens. Houston Lock Fairy here. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching and clicking on this video. Please remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe to the Houston Lock Fairy channel. Here, I'm wanting to show you guys a little bit about the starter lock process and explain some things about what to expect and all of that when you're starting your lock journey. These are starter locks here. As you can see, they're already starting the budding phase. They're already going through the frizziness stage. We're 4 months into her journey. This is one of my dear, beautiful clients who came in and said she wanted to do some small to medium sized locks, and we started with the coil method. This is her hair before we began the process. As you can see, she had full, very thick, healthy, curly, natural hair, just absolutely gorgeous. Kudos to anyone out there who is starting their lock journey, and this is the current phase that you're going through at this moment, and you're trying to learn more about what to do with your locks. As you can see, I know they looked one way when you first started them, and now they look a completely different way. That is a good thing, okay? I want to repeat that. Your locks looking like this is a good thing. They're not going to look how you got them done when you first started. They're not going to be perfectly neat all of the time. They look great. This is exactly what they're supposed to look like. If you have frizziness, if some of them are unraveling, if you have a lot of new growth, if your roots are all the way undone, that is normal. This is absolutely normal. So it doesn't matter what hair texture you have. This is the process. Your locks have to start the budding before they can mature. You have starter locks and you have mature locks. Okay? So this is the process of how your maintenance is done. This is a behind the scenes look at what your loctician sees and what your hair looks like after it is shampooed. After you wash your starter locks, that's going to completely unravel all of the twists at the roots of your locks. Okay, so every loctician does a different technique. They do a different method. I would recommend finding one that works best for you and that you like the most. Okay, this isn't about what is the quickest or easiest for whoever's doing your hair. This is about what you want. Your locks are unique to you, okay? You wear them how you want to wear them, not how anybody else wants you to wear them. If someone recommends a certain technique or method, go do your research, look up what that is and what effect it'll have on your hair and on your locks before you commit to it. Okay, do your due diligence and do your research. That's why I post videos to let people know you have options. You have a choice. You don't have to just go sit in anyone's chair and do what they want you to do. Okay, so I start off by cleaning the parts. Clean parts are very important to me. It gives it a better, sleeker look. It gives you that freshness that you're looking for. And it also keeps all the loose hairs in the lock where they should be and not sticking out. Okay. And so getting a retwist done every 4 to 6 weeks, again, every 4 to 6 weeks is when I recommend coming in for your starter lock maintenance. That's when you get the shampoo. That's when you get, the analyzing of your hair to see what's going on, see if it's locking properly, and then you get it retwisted. You get your parts cleaned up. Be careful what products you use on your hair or what someone is putting on your hair. Please ask what someone is putting on your hair. Ask your loctician what kind of gel are they using. I use the Genuine African Formula locking gel, the extra hold. It has a lot of great ingredients in it. I've been using it for the last five, no, the last, well, yeah, 5 years, but professionally the last 3 years on all of my clients. It doesn't cause a buildup. It doesn't cause flaking, but everyone is different. So on some clients, it does cause flaking, but on majority of my clients, it does not. On myself, it does not. And on my family, it does not. So please, be mindful that all products have a different reaction on different scalps, different hair textures, and density. It varies for everybody. So just be mindful of that. What works for everybody may not work for you. Okay, so we're going to go over do's and don'ts, what to expect, lock budding, how the form of your lock starts and where it begins. And right here, you can see. So, this is what I do. What I prefer is I twist at the root with the comb. I twist in a downward direction, and then I wrap the hair, the loose hair that's sticking out of the lock, around the lock. And now getting this done every 4 to 6 weeks helps your locks stay neater. They help the look of your lock form in a cylinder um, formation so that they can progress. You're training your locks to be in this shape. Okay, so for instance, if you don't do anything with your starter locks and you just don't get them retwisted, you're just letting them grow out, they're gonna basically be free form locks. And the loose hair that you see at your roots, that's all gonna start to mat together. So two locks may become three locks, one lock may become two locks. You're not going to know what's what because you've gone so long between retwists and they're all just got starting to form together. So when you go in for your starter lock maintenance, this is when your loctician cleans up your parts, make sure every lock is an individual lock. All of the hairs that are sticking out, they have a place, and we put those hairs back into their place and help the progression of your lock. Those loose hairs there, that's what I'm talking about. I do the wrapping method and I wrap those loose hairs around your lock so it can resemble the coiled look that we began with at the beginning of your journey. Okay. And so we're just trying to train your locks to grow in a downward motion, a cylinder like frame, and a palm roll all at the same time. So if you're doing this on yourself at home, it's going to be very difficult to see your parts. So that's why I do recommend seeing a professional so that they can clean your parts up properly. You will not be able to see in the back of your head unless you're holding multiple mirrors and in front of a mirror. And that's just really a lot on your arms and on your hands and can be very frustrating. Unless you don't care about your parts being clean, then yes, go ahead, go for it. You don't have to use a comb. You can just use your fingers and just feel for it. But again, some hairs are going to go into different locks and it's not going to be very, you know, um, concise. It's going to be all over the place. But if that's okay with you, of course, go ahead, go for it. But this is the budding that I'm talking about. That is your lock budding right there at the end of that coiled twist at the root. And so what I do is I wrap that loose hair around the lock all the way down. This is her third retwist here. So we have done this 3 times now within the last 4 months. She started her locks in April and it is now August. So we have done her third retwist already. This is it. And she's kept her starter lock styles in and she takes her style down a little before she comes back in. And then we do a wash. She does not wash at home. She comes consistently between 4 and 6 weeks and I get it done for her. So it's very low maintenance. I use very little locking gel. I don't use a lot of product at all. A little goes a long way. Less is best. You don't need a lot of gel. Please do not use beeswax. Please do not use black eco gel. Please do not use heavy products that cause flaking. Sometimes mousse causes flaking. So I really love this locking gel that I use because it has a great hold to it. Okay. And so, of course, if you guys have any questions or if anything sounds confusing, please leave a comment below so that I can answer your questions and I could possibly make another video to maybe go slower or, answer any questions that you guys have. My mission is to help the lock community, to uplift the lock community, to put correct and healthy lock knowledge into the lock community. I hope this helps someone. I hope this helps everyone. But this is how I was taught, and this is what has worked for me. Now, I say that to say there's a lot of videos on YouTube where they're telling you what to do, what not to do, and saying what works best for them. And so that is the same that I'm doing. So I'm not faulting those videos at all. But some are locticians and some are home stylists and some are just doing their own locks and telling you what works best for them. So please take with a grain of salt everything that you watch, everything that you hear, put it into context and narrow it down and see what works best for you, what works best for your hair texture, what works best for the density of your hair, and then go from there. Um, you have to make smart decisions when it comes to your locks and just try to avoid anything that can be damaging. Okay. So within the first year of having your locks, this is what we call the starter lock um, phase. A lot of people call it an ugly phase because of the wildness and the frizziness of your hair. She has a pretty good length on her hair, but a lot of people don't start off with this amount of length as well. So it's a lot shorter. It's short, it's frizzy, it's wild. Okay. And it takes a while to get used to it. You might feel ugly, but I believe that there is no ugly phase of having locks. This is just the starter lock phase. This is how your locks become locks. It has to happen. Budding has to happen. Frizziness has to happen. There's no way to avoid it if you want locks. Even with instant locks and lock extensions, your natural hair has to go through the same process of locking in order to grow. So everyone has to go through this journey. There is no way to cheat it or bypass it or avoid it. This is the process that has to be done. So I use, as you can see, I use these duckbill clips to make sure that the locks are secure as I twist them, as I retwist and I palm roll and I wrap the hair around, I secure each lock under a clip so that it's training them. We're training the locks. This is all like a little boot camp for your locks because as they grow and they get longer and they mature, I won't need to use as many clips. I use longer, like the rainbow clip at the bottom. I just use those at the ends of your locks, not at the roots, because it's not even necessary, because we've trained your hair to stay in the lock at the beginning. So this is just, all part of the process. So within the first 6 months, really within the first 3 to 6 months, this is the starter lock journey. But as you can see, this is the fourth month for my client here in this video. And this is still the starter lock phase. Lots of frizziness, lots of budding. The locks are growing. You won't really be able to tell at this stage how long they're getting because there's so much frizziness, okay? Until after you get it retwisted. And every time you come in for a retwist, you'll notice they get longer and longer, just a little bit every single time. So the more you wash your hair, the more you oil your scalp, the more you condition, the more you hydrate your locks, the better, the healthier they'll be and the longer they'll grow. So oil, 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 moisturize, hydrate. Those are the most important things that I can, those are that's the biggest advice that I can give anyone, honestly, is to keep your locks moisturized. And every time I meet someone outside of the shop, I'm just like, make sure you moisturize, make sure you oil your scalp, because that's really going to benefit your locks more than you doing anything that you see online. Anything that you see, you can, do that, whatever you see that you feel like you want to do with your locks. But the biggest thing is keeping them oiled, keeping your scalp moisturized, hydration, drinking lots of water. Your scalp needs to be healthy. Your body needs to be healthy. You need to put lots of positive energy around you. All of that plays a part in the progression of your locks. Okay? I just want everybody to hear that. Get all the negativity out of your life. Be positive, have positive thoughts, eat healthy, drink water, and your locks will progress beautifully. Okay? So, this is after the retwist has been done. This is how your retwist will look, okay? While you're going through the starter lock phase, your locks will be frizzy, but you see there's not a lot of hair sticking out as they were before. The roots is the most important part while you're going through the starter lock phase. So the most focus is going into the hair being retwisted at your scalp, and then the ends are going to be just as your natural hair texture curls. So if you want locks with curly ends, that has to be how your hair texture grows. Okay? Everyone's hair does not look the same. Everyone's locks will not look the same. This is what has to happen in order to grow your locks. This is beautiful. This is absolutely stunning. This is the perfect starter lock retwist right here. The parts are clean. The budding is happening. No extra tension. It's not tight. It shouldn't be painful. And guys, make sure you cover your locks up at night. I recommend getting something satin to cover up your hair. Okay, so this is the starter lock style that we did. This is going to keep her locks nice and in place. It's not tight, it's not painful, it's all out of her face. And this style here will last for weeks. I thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.